We're back and in full podcast mode and excited to bring you some new wisdom after our long, and I mean 5,000 miles long road trip up to Montana, Yellowstone, Glacier. We saw it all, and we're back with even more renewed wisdom for you. Hey, we're Britt and Chris Carmichael, and you're listening to the Elevated Life Podcast. Throughout the 13 years we've been together, we've never ceased in our endless quest to better ourselves.
We've studied top experts, philosophers, and gurus. After years of personal self-experimentation, we found the tools for shifting your beliefs, moving through fears, and developing a positive mindset.
If you're ready for a breakthrough, then you're in the right place, because we're here to empower you to take control of your life with simple mindset shifts that create radical transformation.
We'll be diving into topics like personal growth, health, philosophy, spirituality, relationships, success, and mindfulness.
So create some space for yourself and get comfy. It's time to become the badass you were born to be.
You know, there's so much that you learn being away from your normal life. I feel like I'm always preaching this, and that is to get out of the habit of being yourself. Whatever you're doing every day, whatever you're doing every week, every month, all the goals that you have, all the everything, every once in a while, you have to just totally just ditch all of it. Just scrap it, throw it all to the side, and get away. Because what you end up learning out there is something different. I love being out of my routine because it forces me actually to figure out what parts of my routine are really, really important. Like, what is that 20% that's giving me everything else? And we were able to narrow every single thing down to start figuring out in our life, what are the things that we want to be going for now? What's the next part of our journey going to look like? All while having one of the most beautiful backdrops I've ever seen. Listen, if you haven't been out to a national park in a while, if you've been stoved up at home for a while, get out into nature. One of the things that I learned, probably one of the biggest things that I learned, is that nature will absolutely kill you. I learned this a bunch of times in Colorado before, but when you're out in the wilderness where every, 30 seconds you hear about how bad you need bear spray, and how the trails are shut down because of grizzly bears, and you see moose, and you see black bears, and you see we saw goats. Just the amount of animals and being out in nature and how that makes you feel different than if you've been in the city for a while. And I feel like we've been in the city for a while.
Oh, too long.
It's a different kind of nature. You're not just out at a cabin. You're not just like tent camping in a place where there's a ton of other people. You're out in the middle of their home. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm small. I feel, it was like I felt like what a natural man would feel like. I didn't feel like what a cubicle man would feel like, or a person who's just thinking about ambition, who's like ideas of survival, or how many followers is on Instagram and stuff like that. It is literally, you're being out there and your body is being stressed. You're in positions that you're not used to. You're climbing up things that you're not used to. And you're starting to face new things. And it starts to open your brain in a different way, because it starts to feel like these natural processes. We're out of the rhythms. We're away from all the, electromagnetic frequencies that we're used to, and all the Wi-Fi. We didn't have service like
Literally
the whole trip.
No service.
It was crazy, and it just so pulls you away and comes back and reminds you of like who you truly are. You start dinging the bell of what your soul has been saying, because out there's nothing else to listen to. There's nobody screaming. There's no cars driving by. There's just nothing. And so you can start to hear all those like little intuitive whispers that you've probably been getting all along.